Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be another writing related video. And in this video, I am going to be considering ideas for my next novel. Before we go any further, I would like to thank Reedsy Learning for sponsoring this video. Reedsy reached out to me recently asking if I would be interested in participating in their How to Write a Novel course. This course takes place over 101 days and is designed to help you write the first draft of your novel in 3 months or less. It is taught by instructor Tom Bromley, who is an author, editor, tutor, and ghostwriter with 25 years of publishing experience. If you participate in this course, you will get access to over 20 plus hours of writing masterclasses, live webinars every week, and you will also receive a 1-year subscription to Reedsy's online writing community, giving you access to their forums and the ability to chat with other writers. You can also opt in to have your work critiqued during the course, though this is optional and you're not obligated to share if you don't want to. If you would like to sign up for Reedsy's How to Write a Novel course and participate in their next session, I do have an affiliate link in the description, so go check it out. Now, on to the topic of this video. When I signed up for the course, they sent me 5 videos to get started, and these 5 videos are about how to evaluate your ideas and make sure that you're set up for success with your novel before you even start writing. These introductory videos are centered around the 5 P's that you need to think about when considering any story idea. Those are the pitch, the protagonist, the plot, the point of view, and the place. Now, as people who have watched my videos before probably know, I am currently in the process of writing my second manuscript, which I have nicknamed Project Dagger. That is a historical mystery set in the 1930s and greatly inspired by Agatha Christie and her contemporaries during the so-called Golden Age of Mysteries. I am planning to have that beta read and then query that to literary agents before the end of the year. But I have been thinking, what am I going to write when I am querying Project Dagger? Because it is often recommended that while you're querying literary agents, you should work on a different book, just so that if you don't get a literary agent, you have still been doing something productive with your time and working on a new project. But I'm not sure what project I want to work on next, because honestly, I have a couple of ideas and I'm just not sure which one I want to write and which one strategically I think would be the best choice for my future career. That's why I am super excited to go over these lessons, think about my 5 Ps, and decide which book I think I really want to devote my attention to next. I will tell you a little bit about each concept because I have 2 ideas that I really like for 2 different reasons. I guess that means I need to come up with 2 new project nicknames, since obviously I don't want to tell you the titles of these potential books. And to be completely honest with you, I don't even know exactly what I would title them at this point. One thing I will say about both of these potential projects is both of them are also historical mysteries, and they are both tied to the history of places where I have lived. So I used to live in Pennsylvania, and in Pennsylvania, I lived near a place where a significant event in history happened. I'll tell you that. And the place around which I currently live also has a long history. So one of the projects is related to where I used to live, and one of them is related to where I currently live. Neither is set in the 1930s, I will tell you that, and they're also not set in the Regency period, early 1800s, like the first book that I wrote. So I will definitely have to do a lot of historical research, regardless of what project I end up choosing. I will call one of the projects Project Gold. This is the one that is related to the area in which I currently live, and I really love the idea for Project Gold, but the thing is, Project Gold is meant to be the first in a series. I have an idea for it. I want it to have a slow burn romance, sort of like my first book did. So I want to be able to develop the characters and their relationship over multiple books. The thing that gives me pause is, okay, what if I don't get an agent this time around? Do I really want to debut with the first in a series? Then I will call my second idea Project Winter. So with Project Winter, I am intending to write it as a standalone book. So that is a pro. It would just be a standalone entity. Everything would be wrapped up. And of course, if it did really well, there would always be the potential for a sequel. But like, if I just published Project Winter and that was all we ever saw from those characters, I would be personally okay with that. So that is something that makes me wonder if maybe I should write that book instead. Maybe it would be the smarter choice. With Project Winter, I do know who my main character is going to be. I do know the kind of personality and goals that she would have. And I don't think I would include a romantic storyline in Project Winter. I am actually toying with the idea of making the main character be somewhere on the asexual spectrum. That's something that I've really been thinking about a lot. But the problem is with Project Winter, I don't know how exactly the mystery would go. I have a couple ideas, but they haven't come together in my head. Like, I have lots of different ideas for what the mystery might be, but they haven't come together in a cohesive whole in my mind. That's why I think these videos are going to be perfect for me, because I'm hoping that it will help me get some clarity, help me think about both of these ideas, and maybe be a little bit closer to deciding which one I want to work on. I'm very excited to get started on these lessons and bring you all along with me as I evaluate my ideas for both Project Gold and Project Winter. So let's get started. Hello, so far I have completed the first 2 prep lessons for the How to Write a Novel course. The first was on the pitch and the second was on the protagonist. The pitch lesson talked a little bit about the elements of a good pitch and the elevator pitch concept, which I'm sure a lot of you people have heard before. I know it was something they talked to us about in college, just in case someday we found ourselves in an elevator with a CEO, I guess. But basically, an elevator pitch is how would you sum up your project very quickly. Like, say for instance, if you were in an elevator with someone and you had to get them hooked on your project before they reached their intended floor. I do think both of my potential projects could potentially have a good elevator pitch. I think they would be easy to sum up quickly. Honestly, I might try to write a query letter for both books just to see, okay, which one do I think sounds more interesting. The protagonist lesson was really, really interesting to me. There was one detail that Tom Bromley mentioned in this lesson that really resonated with me, where he said that when you're trying to build a character profile and understand your character, it should be an accumulation of small details. I just thought that was really well phrased. And he proposed some example questions you could ask yourself about your character to try to get to know them better, such as, what does your character have for breakfast? If your character saw someone shoplifting, what would they do? Your character gets bad service from a restaurant. How would they react? Or what would your character's computer password be? Or some other type of password if they are in a time period that doesn't have computers. And I thought that was a really interesting thought exercise, because I think imagining your character in these really hyper-specific situations can help you get a deeper understanding of them as a person and how they would react. Another thing that was mentioned in this lesson is creating a mood board to get a feel for your character's appearance, and I really love this idea. Like I mentioned in a previous writing vlog where I made a mood board for my manuscript Project Dagger, I do enjoy making mood boards and just trying to find images on Pinterest that I think help capture the vibe that I'm going for. I've made a lot of mood boards on Tumblr, like famous books that I've read, and I know when I've tried to look for beta readers and such, the mood boards have been a great help. So I think this is an activity that I want to do. I think I'm going to try to make some mood boards to fit the main character in Project Gold and the main character in Project Winter. Here's another thing that I would love to get your opinion on. I've heard some authors say that when they're writing a book, they think of a celebrity who they would want to play their character in a movie or TV show, and then that celebrity is the person they imagine in their mind while writing. And I don't know about this. I guess on one hand, it could be helpful because then you have a actual face that you can picture in your mind. But I'm also like, who would I choose, you know? Because if I'm gonna pick an actor that I want to represent my character, I would want it to be somebody who I actually have seen in things before. And then there's also the fact of, okay, but how old should the person be? Because often in Hollywood, people do not play the age they actually are. Think of, for instance, how in all these high school TV shows, the 16-year-olds are played by people who are 30. So I don't know about that because I don't know if I would be able to find an actor who perfectly encapsulates the character in my mind, but let me know about your thoughts on this. Have you ever tried doing this with a work in progress, trying to find an actor that you think would be a good representation of your character? I would really like to hear your thoughts. Good news. One, I went to play trivia the other night and our team ended up getting first place, so that was really exciting. And I also finished those character mood boards that I wanted to make for my heroines in Project Gold and Project Winter. I had a lot of fun making them. I think they came out super cute and they really capture the vibes that I'm going for with these characters. Now, another thing that I personally like to do sometimes when I'm creating characters is think about what zodiac signs they would be. Now, I will preface that by saying I am not an astrology girly. I really don't know astrology. I know that I'm a Pisces, and when I read my horoscope, I think it sounds like me. Descriptions of the Pisces personality just sound like my personality. I don't really know the other signs, but I find just doing a quick Google and deciding what signs I think resonate with my characters is helpful for me personally. I always know what my character's personality is, but I have a hard time articulating it sometimes. Like I have a hard time thinking of character traits to assign to them. So looking at zodiac signs does help me because it'll describe, you know, this is the Pisces personality, this is Aquarius. And so I can read it and be like, yes, that sounds like so-and-so, if that makes sense at all. So it's just something that helps me. Maybe if you're having a hard time building your character's personalities, give it a try. So I'll show you the mood boards that I came up with. This is the one for the heroine in Project Gold. For her zodiac sign, I'm leaning Sagittarius because how I imagine her personality is, I kind of imagine her being verging on like sunshine territory. She's someone who is very outgoing, happy, jovial. She loves life. She craves freedom. And I want her to have sort of an excitement about the world, but that also can cause her to be sometimes overly optimistic or naive. She has had a bit of a sheltered upbringing, and so I intend for at the start of the book, she maybe doesn't know as much about the world as she thinks that she does. And I think sometimes she'll be unintentionally tactless, but it's not like she's doing it out of malice. It's just because of her more sheltered worldview. So that's why I'm leaning Sagittarius for her. I think that fits the personality that I have in mind for her a little bit. She is also a very creative and artistic person. That's a big part of her character. And then here is the mood board that I ended up making for the heroine in Project Winter. For her zodiac sign, I'm still not entirely sure. My thoughts are either Cancer or Virgo, but if there are any astrology lovers out there, maybe you can advise me. Because for her personality, I do think she is a big healer and nurturer. She does have that aspect of her personality where she feels called to care for other people, which seems to be a big thing with both of these zodiac signs. She is very intelligent, sympathetic, shrewd. She knows what she's doing, but also at the same time, though she does really care about her family and her loved ones, her friends, she is so driven and so determined to pursue her goals that it does to a certain extent make her an outcast from the historical society that she's living in. And sometimes when she's pursuing a goal, she can really zero in on it at the expense of other things. So I'm leaning towards one of those two signs, but if anybody knows more about astrology than me and has a recommendation based on what I just described, please do let me know in the comments. Like I said, I don't know a lot about astrology. It's not something that I'm super into. I just think, oh, it's kind of interesting. And usually when I'm researching zodiac signs for characters, I just Google zodiac personality traits and see what comes up. There's this one graph or diagram that I always look at to get a good starting point, just because it is a lists all the zodiac signs and some common traits. So whenever I'm trying to pick a character's zodiac sign, I go through that entire image and I look at the traits, both positive and negative. And when I see a couple that resonate, I look into that sign in more depth. Also, for anyone who cares, my heroine in Project Dagger is a Pisces, as am I. A lot of her character traits are also my character traits, so her and I are a lot alike, and that's why I made her a Pisces. I honestly don't remember what zodiac signs I gave to my characters in Project Mayfair. I feel like probably one of them was an Aries, because they were both very stubborn, but I honestly don't remember what their signs were. I forget. So that's that. I had fun with those mood boards. Hopefully you like them. I am almost done the prep lessons for the How to Write a Novel course. So once I have finished them, I will come back to this video to tell you what else I learned and just wrap everything up. Hello everyone. So I have officially finished the prep lessons for Reedsy's How to Write a Novel course, and they were very helpful. I have really thought a lot about what I want to make my next project, whether that's Project Gold or Project Winter. And to be honest, at this moment, I think my heart is pulling me towards Project Gold more so. The other night, I was actually lying in bed trying to go to sleep, and I had a random thought about the heroine from Project Gold and something that I could add to her backstory. So I think that's a sign that that is the story that's calling to me right now, but I don't need to make a decision at this exact moment. The last time I queried a novel, I really couldn't focus on a new project for a few months. So when I start querying Project Dagger, I think my goal is going to be to focus on plotting and researching my next project instead of just immediately diving into writing the book, because if it's going to be anything like last time, I'm going to be too emotionally attached to Project Dagger to focus on my new project at first. And one thing that I really liked about these last few prep lessons was in the lesson on place, Tom Bromley gave examples of famous authors who derived inspiration from actually physically going to places and taking them in, walking through their neighborhoods or looking at houses and thinking, okay, I can use this as a setting for a story. So I think I'm really in a lucky position because, like I said, Project Gold is inspired by an area near where I currently live. So I definitely can do a lot of in-person research and inspiration for this book. There are some real world locations that I'm thinking about including in the plot, so I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna get inspired. And I've also looked into visiting the nearby research library to see if they have any historical documentation that I can use to help me write a better story. So that is it for this video in which I planned my next novel with the help of Reedsy Learning. Once again, I would like to thank them for reaching out to me and inviting me to take part in their How to Write a Novel course. If you would like to sign up for their next session of How to Write a Novel, I do have an affiliate link in my bio which you can check out to learn more about the course and sign up. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and my social media links are in the description if you want to contact me on those other platforms. Do let me know in the comment section, what do you usually think about when you're planning a next writing project? Are there any tips and tricks that are helpful to you? And if you're still here and you want to show your support but you don't know what to comment, why don't you comment the pencil emoji? Because in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be doing a lot of learning and I'm going to be taking a lot of notes. Thank you so much for watching this video today, and I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you in the next video.